Today I will teach you the various subtleties of working with the neural network Midjourney. You will learn how to style an image using prompts, about fine-tuning, specific styles and much more. This guide assumes that you already know how to use Midjourney and you have a Discord account. If not, watch other videos on my channel. Drawing up a prompt. A prompt is a hint for a neural network in which you describe what needs to be generated. A short prompt generates an image in the basic style of the journal, while a more detailed description will create something completely new. For example, if you want to see a girl with bunny ears, you write, and the neural network generates various variations of this request. But if you want to see something more detailed, you can specify hair color, clothing details, age, background images, and much more. Separate the different parts of the query with 2 colons. Many people use commas, and although the neural network understands them, using a colon will help me understand your query more accurately. For example, the query's hot dog and the move dog will give completely different results. Next, you can specify the style in which the image will be generated. By default, it is used in the corporate style of the journal, but you can specify a certain style or the name of the artist. She knows if not everything, then a lot. At the end of the prompt, you can add the aspect ratio and other parameters, which we'll talk about later. So, the basic order of drawing up prompts is as follows: the main object in the image, the background details, stylistics, parameters. Fine-tuning. Fine-tuning with the help of parameters allows you to achieve a better generation result. Full documentation on various parameters of Midjourney is not available on the official website. Here I will give the most interesting and useful examples. All parameters are specified at the end of the prompt and usually start with 2 dashes, then comes the name of the parameter, and in some of them a numeric value or an additional hint is indicated through a space. Aspect ratio. By default, all images are generated 1:1, that is, in a square format. If necessary, you can also generate horizontal and vertical images. To do this, add at the end of the prompt a 3:2 for the horizontal image and a 2:3 for the vertical image. Negative hints. The parameters of the no allows you to exclude the presence of any object in the image. They are also called negative or negative hints. So, for example, he will try to exclude all the characters from the image. You can try to exclude, for example, 6 fingers, color, style, or other elements. If you use a complex prompt with various objects, you can specify the weight. In fact, this is the priority for each part of the hint. When a double colon is used to separate a hint, you can add a number immediately after the double colon to assign importance to that hint in the final image. You can use numbers from 1 to 100, but these values will be relative to each other. For example, from $:1, $:2 means that the doc in the image will be twice as important as the move. The numbers are relative, so if we specify a move with a $:50, a doc with a $:100, then the weight of this hint will be the same, that is, the doc will still remain twice as important. There is also a negative weight. When you use the parameters of negative hints, you can also specify the weight of the individual parts of the negative hint. This parameter applies not only to objects, but also to color, style, and so on. Remix. In the latest version of Midjourney, it became possible to cross the image, thanks to which they received many different stylizations, such as Shrek in the style of films of the 80s or weight in the anime genre. In order to use the remix mode after the image prompt, send a direct link to the image. In most cases, you can get it by right-clicking on the image and selecting Copy Image Link. Make sure that the link at the end contains an image extension in the JPEG, PNG, or GIF format. It is also important to note that links to Telegram, VK, and a number of other hosting services may not work. Then you can enter any prompt through a space. It can include both refinement of objects in the original image, and new objects that need to be added, as well as styling and all other parameters. We send a link, you can specify another link through a space. The objects from the first one will be taken as the basis of the composition, and the second one will be used as a stylization. Stylization is one of the most difficult, but funny commands of engineering. _stylize or _ with plus numeric value. It determines how pronounced the stylization of your images should be. High values lead to more unexpected results, while low values will be closer to your hint, but visually may look simpler. Here are approximate readings of the values of this command. 0. The exact match of the hint, as a rule, generates an image in the style of a primitive 3D, 100. The default value. 500 is a more creative result. 1000 is a very creative result. Chaos. The double dash house or double dashi parameter affects how diverse the original image grids will be. High values will give more unexpected and unusual results. Lower values will give more reliable and reproducible results. Let's compare the 0 value of chaos, the average value of 50, the high value of 100. Quality. The dual teriality or dual therapy parameters are another complex parameter that allows you to control how much GPU time you use. Lower values will reduce the cost and detail of the image, while higher values will take significantly longer. 0.25 4 times faster than usual, cheaper, very primitive. 0.5 twice as fast, cheaper, less detailed. 1 is the default value. 2 is twice as slow, more expensive, more detailed. 5 is only suitable for experiments. It is also important to note that quality does not necessarily mean something beautiful. Each image in the Midjourney has its own value. Using this value allows you to generate new images based on the previous ones in order to preserve the style, characters or composition from the original one. To get all the images, send a message to the bot with the image of a smiley face with a letter. It is also called Angela. The bot writes you data about the image, which will indicate the number of sieves. Then specify in the hint the double dash is sitting and the number that the bot sent you. Now, when using a similar hint, the result will be close to the original one. Prompta. There are sites where you can find various images and the prompt that was used to generate them. In the description, I will leave one of these sites that I use personally, and then we will look at some of the most visual and popular styles and, accordingly, tips for them. Realism. To generate a realistic image, add the following phrase: ultralit key, photorealisty to the pro. Lighting. To create high-quality lighting, add a lighting element or in lighting. You can also specify the color scheme of lighting by specifying the name of the color and lighting. For example, in one of the latest updates, the mode below appeared, which is sharpened for creating anime-style pictures. By calling up the settings panel via the /setting, you can enable it by default for all your queries, or add a double dash at the end of the script below to style it as an anime image. You can also use the following hints for a more precise style: art illustration, liner art, 2D art, Studio Ghibli style and so on. 3D art, 3D render, digital 3D face, lolly, made in Blender, cinematics, retro. I am often asked how to create a stylization for dark films of the 80s. The following scripts are used here. Screenshot fantasy screen. :. You can also use retro style prompts, style, character design, proofreader design, a shield module for the image with character reversals, face details for face detailing, CLE, art style, 2T art and so on. Web design, flat vector, simple design, user interface, Pigma and Tribble.
And that's it for me. If you liked this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel and click on the bell. For me, your activity, this is the best reward. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.